Ladies and gentlemen, grab your gloves and get your compost ready. Stepping into the ring is the perennial powerhouse, the sultan of soil, the beast of the beds, where permaculture reigns, food grows wild, community roots run deep, and yes, the garden punts hit hard. Freedom starts in the soil. This is the Guerrilla Gardening Show.
Welcome back to the Guerrilla Gardening Show. I'm Mike with Mike's in the Garden, back with Sam from Central Florida Abundance. What's happening, Sam?
Well, what's going on, Mike? Been a crazy day, but I'm happy to be here talking about the garden. That always puts a smile on my face.
Yeah, and as we were chatting before here, talking about Sao Palmetto and this plant, you were saying, oh well, you don't have any,
Yeah,
and
I didn't think because saw palmettos, I mean, they grow slow, but they're big, uh, and you know, it's a noticeable plant. So I'm interested to see this video you have of your saw palmetto that I didn't notice at all when I was there like a month ago. But saw palmettos are great, and they're actually endemic to the southeastern U.S. Florida along the ridges and the coastlines, and I think like Georgia, South Carolina, along the coast is really the only places in the entire world that these saw palmettos grow.
hmm,
So we're lucky to be here. I think most Floridians kind of ignore them because they're just so prolific. But if you're anywhere else in the world other than the southeastern U.S., it may take a while, but you will notice a distinct lack of saw palmettos, anywhere. Um, and that's led to some things because they are a medicinal plant,
hmm.
and they are distributed around the world as I think it's like prostate and menstrual health is what,
Hmm.
and it's the berries. People will dehydrate the berries and capsulate it and then take that. But since they only exist here and people want them everywhere, we have a big problem in Florida with rampant saw palmetto berry poaching. And it's not a problem to forage and use the natural resources. The problems arise when a couple organizations or individuals uh, develop to a point where they're able to harvest, you know, 100 acres, 200 acres of berries, and then, you know, ship them off, and then they don't grow anywhere else. And so then we've taken the seeds for the next generation of saw palmettos, out of a couple hundred acres, and then, eventually we lose. That's the collapse of the species. And I think, in recent years, people have been they've cared more about, sustaining the population. And it makes sense, right? Because if you have a business based around this plant, you don't want the plant to just die out. Uh, but there's still some, you know, unhinged foraging out there. We got to be responsible and respectful foragers. So you have a
Well,
giant saw palmetto that you're harvesting from, I'm
um,
assuming.
well, I mean, maybe I'm going to save the population, but this is why you don't remember it because it was nestled up against the
Oh,
house. Yeah.
okay.
So part of why I wanted to bring this up today is, um, and I do have some, I think it's pictures. I don't think I have videos. This is 6 years old. And 6 years ago, it was, my previous homeowner to make the whole place look fancy for the new homeowners, us. they got some of these crotons here and they got some of the Hawaiian ties and they're like, oh, we'll throw in
Y'all
a
got
saw
the
palmetto and
y'all got the Lowe's landscaping special.
1000%. He did get the loquat tree. That's what ended up in the back corner. I transplanted that, but yeah, so really what I want to show in this video here is like how much it's grown and what I can do, how to cut this back, how it should be cut back. I haven't really seen any berries. I got to be a little bit mindful of that wasp nest. Um, but let's get in here a little bit. I mean, this thing is thick and is right up against the house. So, I'm not sure if there's any danger necessarily to the foundation. Obviously, this thing is wildly growing. And so let's talk about it, Sam. What are some of your observations here?
I have a question.
Yeah,
How certain are you that this is a saw palmetto and not a cabbage palm?
I am 0% certain. So,
You say 0%?
yeah,
Okay. We got to look at the leaves.
okay.
Do you have like a good up close shot of like where the frond meets the stem area? Like if we could see.
Now I'm just
Hmm.
showing off all my wasp nests here. Um, let's see.
So the easy way to tell them apart is that
Mhm.
the saw palmetto, the stem stops right at the leaf frond, like where the leaf fans out, the stem just stops there at the very
Okay.
beginning of it. Whereas the cabbage palm or the sable palm, the stem is gonna keep going, and then the leaf like fronds off of the stem. And
Can we
also,
can we glean any of that from this shot here, or is it too busy what's going on here?
I think it's too busy. I can kind of see the leaf like in the top right corner. Uh, and I mean, is that a leaf? It's not a frond.
Oh,
These that that looks to have a stem through the center of the frond. The other thing that makes me think it might be a cabbage palm is that saw palmettos grow super slow. Like, it's going to grow a foot in like 5 years kind of
okay.
thing.
Okay.
And cabbage palms can grow really quickly and they pop up really often from seed. Because somebody will have
Random
one.
volunteer somewhere.
Yeah. And, that it could have been somebody planted it, but I feel like it just popped up on its own.
Okay.
Um, and it's a seedling, and I mean I feel like it's gonna be a palm tree. If that's a
Okay.
cabbage palm, it's gonna be, you know, tall and probably not what you want right next to your house. You'd definitely
Okay.
be better off if it was a saw palmetto.
I mean, from any because this, I mean, we can kind of see here. Yeah, I mean that definitely looks like a palm stalk, right? Like the trunk of a early palm.
Yeah. And
And then even like like over here, I mean,
it's
yeah.
interesting that they're not, I mean, I guess they meet down at the base. Okay. So it could be I feel like it's a cabbage palm, but I mean it
Okay.
could still be a saw palmetto. I mean, you've lived in that house for what? How
6
long?
years.
6 years. And I mean, if this was a saw palmetto, it would probably be 30 or 40 years old at that
To
size.
reach this size. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I guess that's like, from germination, not necessarily in the ground. Like it could have been, you could plant a saw palmetto this size. It'd be in like a, 25-gallon pot. Um,
So I can say in 6 years, I don't think I've ever seen any berries or seeds. So it's probably safe to rule this out as a saw palmetto. And now we're talking
yeah, it's just a
cabbage
young one.
palm, or what other type of palm could it be?
Now, the the cabbage palm and the sable palm are the same
Essentially the
thing,
same.
and
Okay.
it's the only, yeah, they're the only palm that is native to Florida. And there might be another one that's like super, there's like five individuals or something, but this is the main palm. This is, would be most of the palms you would see in Florida.
And
Um,
and this looks
and they
like
love it here.
something that, yeah, is just wildly growing, right? Like this would,
Yeah.
if we came across this on a trail somewhere, it would probably look similar if it was just left to its own devices.
Oh yeah. Wildly enough, it looks pretty healthy, growing out of the foundation of your house and all.
Yeah.
Uh, and you know, uh, obviously this one's not in a great location, but if you do have them around the property, you find them, it's a useful tree. The center of the trunks are edible. If
Hmm.
you've ever had heart of palm, it comes
Heard of it.
from,
Yeah.
yeah, comes from these trees. It's kind of like artichoke like, because really the palms are not trees. They don't have wood or lignin. They're more like bananas where, they're herbaceous and the leaves just kind of unfold and stack on top of each other. So that's how palms like get height, is just by uh, hardening off their old leaf sections. But the center of that usually stays soft. So when you cut down the palm, the core of it is going to be soft leaf material that hasn't emerged yet, even, lower down in the trunk. And that's what you eat as the heart of palm. Um, and from what I've seen, it makes a pretty good building material because, you can take those trunks and, I mean, pretty good, not necessarily compared to like lumber, but if you go to St. Augustine, you can see the forts that I think some of the buildings that are there were constructed by, natives, like, Native Americans that were in Florida at the time. And they're built using cabbage palm logs. And they just take the trunks and like sealed the ends. And, because these things are like just made to last, they don't rot from the inside out. So those structures are still there. Um, that's pretty interesting. I'm sure there's a lot of work to build with them, but if it's going to last 300 years, maybe it's worth it.
Yeah. Well,
Build your next house out of it.
for those of you that came here to talk about saw palmettos, unfortunately, that's it's not going to happen today. We got you though if you came here for cabbage palm.
We could
So
probably touch on the saw palmettos too. I mean, we did a little bit,
yeah,
I the berries are good. The saw palmettos also have an edible core. Um, they're very similar, you know, on a superficial level to the cabbage palms. Um, the biggest difference is that they grow much slower and they usually have multiple trunks. And they also sometimes will just lay, like their trunks grow up a little bit and then just start to lean over and lay on the ground. Um, they're also fireproof, all of them, the cabbage palm and the saw palmetto, the trunks of them are fire resistant, but
Mm.
pretty fireproof. And I guess that's what made them also a good building material. But it's because the ecosystems here in Florida are all very heavily fire dependent. And so a lot of our native species have adapted or have evolved ways to, adapt to that fire. And the way the cabbage palm and the saw palmetto do it is they have these oils in their fronds that make them super flammable. But what happens is when the fires come through, it uh like incinerates the frond so quickly that it just kind of forces the fire to pass on by. And the trunks themselves are pretty resistant, but by having, these flammable materials that they can just burn off, they're able to, reduce a lot of the stress on the rest of on their main bodies. um so I mean that's another way that they're pretty similar. Oh, is this
So
when you
this
moved
is
in?
6 years ago.
Oh, it's so tiny. I
Yeah.
see it in there.
Yeah. So
Can we zoom and enhance on
there we go.
that?
I don't know about enhance, but we could definitely zoom in.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. That makes me think
Yeah.
it was planted there.
I think I transplanted it. I think along with all of these, because he had planted these out in the front, and you could tell it was just a realtor's advice to get some, like you said, the Lowe's special going. So I brought them all in the back here, and I mean, you could see what they look like 6 years later. They look pretty good, but
I don't
um,
know, man. That looks like it is a saw palmetto. But and I mean, I wish we had a closer picture. You're just gonna have to go look at it, tomorrow or something, and next week we will let everybody know. Because if you
yeah.
look at this leaf right here, it looks like the stem stops right there.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been under the impression that it was a saw palmetto, and then as it started to, so the the video we were just watching where, and I don't know how visible it was to you, Sam, but like the trunk of a saw palmetto, is it does it look like the trunk of a sable palm or a cabbage palm? Because it's kind
When
of
they're
like a
that
palm tree
size,
trunk.
yeah, I mean when they're that size, they kind of do. When they're big, they look different. The saw palmetto is gonna have like almost a hairy trunk, like it's fibrous. Like, if you think about like coconut core, you've kind of got that kind of material all over the trunk, and the leaf scars will be there. But when the saw palmetto or when the sable palm is young, it almost has that same kind of thing. It's really when they're short, man. If that wasp nest wasn't there, we'd be able to tell. That's like on the perfect spot.
Yeah, I mean, I get a little closer. It's
I
just
don't know, man. It
really
might be a
hard to
saw
tell.
palmetto. Like those little leaves down there, it looks so weird. What is
So
that?
you can kind of see here like the serrated edges along the stem. Is that something that's on a cabbage palm?
Yeah, that's gonna be on both.
Okay.
That's gonna be on like most of your palms, really. I'm
Now,
I'm Googling reference images now because I'm
okay.
just so here I have another theory.
Okay.
It could be Sable Minor, which
Okay.
is the dwarf cabbage palm. But I've I'm looking on a website right now, and this website and another website has it labeled as dwarf palmetto.
Okay.
And
Oh
It's
yeah, I see.
not a palmetto.
Yeah, I see dwarf palmetto tree, but also a sable palm.
Huh. And so,
A sable palmetto. Is that a thing?
ah, now I'm broken. Uh, saw palmetto. See, it's turning into forensics now. When
I
you
mean
Google saw palmetto.
that looks like a tree trunk,
Oh, wait, go back to
more in
that.
line with a palm tree.
Go back to that. I can't.
Hold on, I'm gonna get
I see it.
right there.
That's tough. I mean, it could, again, like if this was a saw palmetto, it looks like it would be decades old.
Okay.
Uh,
And so
okay.
I think I
So,
asked you already, but the trunk of a saw palmetto is similar to what we're looking at here.
so yes.
Okay.
Uh, the Latin name is Sorona repens. And so the genus of saw palmetto is Sorona, whereas, the genus of the cabbage palm is sable. And then there's the sable palm, and then there's uh minor, which is the dwarf, and saw palmetto is very far removed from either of those plants. They have very similar physical characteristics, but so this is saw palmetto. This is Sorona repens.
Hmm.
And if you,
A slow
wow,
growing, clumping, multi-trunked palm that typically grows 5 to 10 feet tall and spreads 4 to 10 feet wide. It has stout stems that usually crawl across the ground and produce fan-shaped fronds. See this picture here to the right, they look more like they're like in every direction, almost like a pineapple just grows wild. Where the ones that I think we're looking at do seem to be more like flat in direction. Like they're all like straight and
well, that's how these are too. Sometimes you'll get some fold with it, but
okay.
I mean it's just a stick with with a leaf fan. You can think of it like that. Now the difference, the saw palmetto is like that article said, it's going to be multi-trunked,
Mhm.
and so it may. That's what's hard when.
Because there are several trunks out there, like a
Are
couple
there really?
smaller ones where the reason I wanted to do this video in the first place is it's so close to the house. I want to make sure that this isn't a tree and, what steps I can take to, cut it back or cut it out or, um,
You can't really cut it. You cannot prune palms or saw. I mean, you can prune the fronds, the leaves off, but if you cut that top, that whole trunk dies.
I mean,
So
if that's what I have to do to get rid of this.
yeah, yeah. If you
But
gotta
yeah,
save your house,
yeah.
it's probably not worth that. But what I've seen, and I don't know. I've never spent much time trying to propagate saw palmettos,
Hmm.
but the uh the trunks, when it has multiple trunks, I've seen in the wild what appears to be trunks that have broken off of their main, palmetto, and then rerooted in another spot. So like large trunks that have, young root systems and young leaves emerging, but it appears that the trunks are, much much older, and it's not like uh a recovery after a burn kind of thing. Like it's, these trunks were far removed and not attached, in any way. So that could be some way, if you want to try to propagate it, but
It'd be nice to get a.
you just gotta get a good picture of those leaves, man.
See, I also
Google.
feel like, see, this is saying dwarf palmetto, bush palmetto, sable minor. See, I
So
feel
that's
like,
not a saw palmetto. That
okay,
is not a saw palmetto. That
so
in that picture, because that
these,
is sable minor.
okay, and these leaves look like they can like bend very easily. They can flap and flow in the wind. Where those ones out there, they seem more hardy, where they're all like tough and like when it blows, like the whole thing blows. It's not like
Hmm.
individual leaves blow. Um, but
Hmm. So what I looked at earlier, the what did I go? Cabbage palm versus saw palmetto leaf difference,
okay.
and there's like a really nice comparison. Uh, and I mean, I guess you probably don't spend a lot of time. Yeah, that third image, you don't spend a lot of time looking at the leaves like up close like this. Like you'll see here, that's what you need to pay attention to is where that connection is.
Hmm.
So the top right is the saw palmetto.
Yeah,
Um,
and I feel like it's closer to a scrub or a saw palmetto. I don't think it's like the sable palm. I mean, let me just real quick bring this video back up because we're on the case now. And and now we've got a whole episode devoted to we don't know. So, but
plant mysteries.
this is a good episode for people to comment and give us their opinion on what they think this friggin' thing is.
It's
Uh,
not a needle palm. Nobody said that.
um, yeah, that's
You need to get them
low.
that grass out of there, man. Then we could tell. Just tell the wasp to take the day off. It looks like
Yes.
it's making a second trunk down there at the bottom, really.
Yeah, I think there's like three or four actually. Um,
What was this other
yeah, you can kind of see one main big one there and then a couple small ones coming out. And so I'm trying to look like right here. I know it's a small one, but I think where'd you go? Yeah, it's tough to say. Like, I mean, maybe those are
So if
two.
it is a saw palmetto, you want to save it.
Okay.
I'm saying like that's you want to find some way to make it to plant it somewhere else. Is that your goal?
Yeah, you know me, I don't like to kill anything, but
Yeah, absolutely.
so even like down here, just back this up a second.
Yeah,
Like down here, I'm trying to
I
look.
think it really is a saw palmetto.
And I remember,
And
you
I
know,
mean,
doing the plant identifier years ago, and it came back, you know, not that those things are ever gone. Well, for the sake of the title of the video,
well,
I think we're gonna just call it Saul Palmetto versus Cabbage Palm.
I think that's pretty good because I mean, that's probably the most that the that the viewers are going to get out of this, and really that's probably something that people will come across. I am convinced now, and I mean, I can't be certain until I see a good photo of the leaves, but I'm pretty convinced that it is a saw palmetto. At the very least, I don't think it's a cabbage palm. It could
Okay.
be, you know, and you said they were planted all around the front. That'd be crazy for this guy. And I mean, crazy good, but like very out of pocket just to plant a bunch of saw palmettos around your front yard. Like,
Oh, it's just one. It's
oh,
just
okay. And you
one.
just dug up the one
Yeah.
and moved it.
Now it's possible because they were all old shrubs there before that. I mean, like all diseased shrubs around the house, around the pool, and I just got rid of all of them.
Ah, okay.
And so it's possible that this was just there and I just planted those others around it. I really don't remember. Um, I mean, why would somebody go to Lowe's and buy a saw palmetto with all those other ones? But then at the same time, like, why would you randomly put a
I
low
don't think
plot with those other trees too?
they
So
don't even sell saw palmettos at Lowe's. I don't think so. Like
yeah,
you would have,
so
I think you had to have gone to a native nursery, which is initially why I was like, there's no way. But
yeah, he
I
was too
mean,
lazy. He didn't do that.
you got quite the mystery on your hands. Maybe he just got it from a friend. Maybe somebody illegally dug it out of what's the state park near you? What is it, like the Ocala National Forest?
Wakaiva's close.
Wakaiva, yeah. They
Yeah,
got you can find some out there.
there's a ton of them there. Yeah, yeah.
But I think we'll have to wait uh until next week. You know, you can get a good picture for us and we'll post it up. And then we'll just case closed.
To be continued. So let's bring up my friend here, Andrea. We just had an event at the bird rehab this past week. She put in this native garden for us. Did an incredible
Oh
job.
wow. That is beautiful.
It is beautiful.
And the signs,
We've got signs here,
stick
and
bugs.
yeah, we got stick bugs. And so I will have some more content on this soon. Let me see. Yeah, so that's what it looked like before. And then now,
Wow, wow. That's a dramatic. Y'all did all that in one day?
no, she did this over the course of several weeks
Oh,
and
okay.
only put pine straw down as a mulch. But yes, Andrea here is with My Florida Meadow. So she's primarily focused around uh, Central Florida here, Ocoee, Winter Garden, Apopka area. So shout outs to her and the great work she did. We just had Wings, Wildflowers, and Art event. So we had art placed around this garden here, and it was a great time. It was the first annual, and lots more to come of that. And shout outs to Andrea.
That's
Definitely,
awesome. I guess I'm
definitely.
not even following her. I will give her a follow and y'all should too.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful.
Sam, I guess we'll have a part two to this coming soon. Why don't you, in the meantime, tell everybody where they can find more of you and your consulting services?
Yeah, if you've got some plants growing on your property that you want to figure out what they are, you can contact Central Florida Abundance. Uh, I will come out, schedule a consultation with you. We'll explore your property, find the best uses for it, the plants that are going to be well adapted for your situation, and any mysteries we will get to the bottom of.
Awesome. And also check out Igo Family Farm.
Thanks for that.
Follow them on
If you
Instagram. And
want
if
to get
you're
some
in
produce,
Polk County, make sure you reach out to Sam. And you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikToks, the whole nine. That's at Mike's in the Garden. And of course, I know you want to get a shirt because I wet my plants daily. So you can do that right here at the link below, somewhere over here.